Have you worked with PTD? I can't even say it. TPD TV.
Yeah, lots. So they've come to download loads. In fact, I think this year might have been the first year we didn't have them there, but it's because they were doing an American festival that they wanted to do forever. So I think they were really sad, but they were like, we just have to do this one this year. But yeah, so we've done that with them. We had them at Reading for years as well. Well, Leeds for them. But actually, I think sometimes they used to do the both. So they used to go to Reading and then to Leeds. But they're always very good fun to work with. They're great.
Is that the same thing where they just get a free ticket, or is there anything that's pre-planned? Or
Just ticket. Like, they're very much like, they kind of like to experience the whole thing. So like they'll come like on the Wednesday for download. Like they're there. They're usually like some of the first ones there. Like there's one journalist who's always there first, and then it was always them behind him. So like, yeah, they come and they experience the whole thing. There's always a big gang of them, and like we kind of take them around. There was one year, I think it was at Leeds Festival, I took them around and it felt like we were the Pied Piper because it was quite mad. We were just walking through and like all these tons of like teenagers just following us through. It was really funny. But yeah, they're really good fun. They, their content is great.
is there any worry, not specifically with them, but in general with YouTubers, that you're going to let them in and they're going to say something or do something negative?
Yeah, like there's always the risk. There is always the risk. You do kind of think like, that's the risk of having them there. But I think generally, we don't really tend to have a big problem with that because I suppose you're then giving them the free ticket. You're giving them a really nice experience. And then, like they're generally really happy. You kind of keep them happy. So it's quite rare that you would have anything bad, that they would say anything bad. I think we once a different event, somebody had broken their leg or something, crowd surfing. I think it was maybe at Reading, and an influencer we invited did like an Instagram thing about it, and we're like, oh, would you mind taking that down? And they do. So I think then a big part of it is having the good relationships with people, like building those relationships that you're in the position to, if they say anything negative, you can kind of just say, oh, look, would you mind? Either like, because obviously what they're trying to do is like go viral, but generally if you have a good relationship with them and it's something like that, then
If there was something like that and they just refused or they were saying negative stuff, would you just not invite them to other things? So it's in their best interest to...
Yeah. Like obviously, like don't get me wrong, it's not about then like censoring people or anything like that, Obviously people have their opinions and you're not gonna, like say if somebody's like, oh, I was stuck in traffic for an hour or whatever, you're not then gonna be like, take that down right now or anything like that. It's obviously nothing like that. But if it felt like a bit kind of malicious, or like the person was just doing it to go a bit viral or just being a bit of an
Stir up
idiot,
controversy,
just stir something, it definitely would make you not invite them again. You'd think, well, like you've had the free ticket, like you've had all of this, like it doesn't make you want to have them there again.